Hi, my friends, it's Sam here. I've been working on a lot of bobs lately. Lots of bobs going on, and I want to share something with you today as people go, come on. But lots of bobs are going on, and there's so many ways in which we can work with our bobs and what we're doing. So today what I want to do is I want to go in and I want to cover these bobs and basically what I'm doing with them to kind of just create something that's interesting, whether it be on the inside or whether it be on the perimeter edge. Basically with these bobs, I'm starting to see whether it's loose inside, but it's not so much layering. You're starting to see these bobs grow out. So what I want to do is I'm just coming through right now. I've sectioned off a short horseshoe section. But right now what I'm doing is I'm just cleaning up the surface line. I love to elevate this immediately, place my finger angle in, my finger position, start to close. As I close, I elevate. And what I love doing this is it just captures when that hair blows, the wind captures it or nature captures it. You're not going to have these little long pieces that are actually going over it. So I just come through and I do this. But what I want to share with you today is a really interesting concept in regards to how I'm working with triangles underneath these bobs, just to loosen them up. I think that the bobs have a lot of movement to them. You know, they're going to start to move. You're going to see a sense of weight, but there's going to be this texture story that's going on inside, this little hidden secret that's going on inside. So I'm going to show you two variations of how I work with triangles underneath after I just clean up this top surface. Once again, just clean up the top surface on a bob, and the way that I go on and do it is just elevate. And as I elevate, I'm just opening and closing. Just really helps to just give me a nice soft surface on top, so when this bob moves, you're not having any extra added length that sits on top of that. So I want to thank you for joining me today. I'm going to go live here. Actually, I've gone live, but let me just fix my, there we go, make sure that that's properly there. So thanks for joining me. Looks like a lot of people are coming in. Thanks so much for coming in. Any questions you're going to ask me. So here's what I'm going to do. I've sectioned off a horseshoe section. Okay, and I'm going to draw it out up here so you can see it right up here. I'm going to put it here also, all right? So here's what, when you cut a layered bob or you cut a one length bob and you feel you want a little bit more swing out of it and you want to get some weight out from underneath, rather than picking up texturizing shears and going in, I'm going to show you a technique that works. I'm going to work with a 7-inch swivel, and I'm going to work with a white comb on the dark hair so I can actually see it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this comb down, and I'm actually going to pick up a tail comb. And the reason I'm going to pick up a tail comb is because I'm going to go in and section with these triangles. So I'm going to give you a profile view of this right side. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do on the right side. I'm showing you two variations. One variation on the right side and another variation on the left side. Triangle, starting right at that hairline, I draw diagonal back and then diagonal up. So now I have a triangle. You can see how that's a triangle. What I'm going to do with this triangle, this is the area that I'm actually going to cut. My next triangle, I'm going to continue from here. So you're going to see a gap in between that has some long hair. Let's cut this triangle. When I come through, I cut this, you're going to wonder how short you cut it. Look for the bend in the hair, the bevel in the hair. Where it bends, right there, that's where I'm going to cut this. And I'm going to come in, I'm going to cut this very, very soft, working with my 7-inch dry. Okay, just coming in just very softly, just soften that. Okay, now watch. When I release this, this piece here is the longest because it's at the point of the triangle. I'm taking more mass of weight out on top of that, but leaving more length underneath. Now I go where I left off. Here comes another triangle. Now look at this triangle. So there's a gap of length here. This is where I cut my previous triangle. So let's just take a look at that. See, so I cut this triangle I leave alone. So there's a gap of almost one length hair in between each triangle. And what it's doing is it's just going to create a sense of looseness. Here we go again. This is my next triangle. Give you a nice view of this, profile view of this, so you can see. Now, watch how I elevate this. I'm going to elevate this. I'm working with a tail comb just because I'm sectioning with that. And it's just going to give me a little bit more tension when I work with that. Now, I'm just going to come in, point cut that. Remember, read the hair. That's going to tell you where you can point cut. Look how parallel I am to that. Okay, now when I release it, because of the shape of this hair here is traveling longer to get to that cutting position. The hair outside, it's wider, so more mass of hair is getting shorter and less mass of hair is getting longer. Now look how you don't see anything, but now watch when I just start to touch this. You can just start to see how there's a sense of looseness inside of that. Let's go here. Remember where you left off? Look how I draw that triangle in. How deep do you go or how close you place the triangles? If you place them close together, what you're going to do is you're going to be taking out more hair. If you place them further apart, if you place a lot of them in, you're going to place more looseness. If you place less in, you're going to create looseness, but it's going to have a sense of weight to it. Okay? Once again, just coming through. Watch how I'll elevate. Let's place the palm towards me so you can see where I'm at. How much do you know to take off, Sam? Just bend it. See where it bends? Right where that shine line is? That's where I'm going to take this. So I'm going to come through, point cut that. So I'm releasing length and weight inside, but because it's triangles are asymmetrical, therefore because it's asymmetrical, it's a lot softer. Okay? So now watch, when I start to just kick this, see how loose that is? Whereas if I kick this other side that I have not cut, this side that's not cut, watch me kick it, you can see how heavy that is when I get it to move. Now let's go over here where I placed a series of triangles in. And now watch how, see how that just gets a little bit more frothy. It's got more movement to it. Look how it gets a little bit more where it stays in the direction that I put that. So it's just a really cool way to go in and release that. Now on the opposite side, let me show you what I did. This is the left side. So follow me here. This is the left side right here. What we did was we had a solid line. I came in, I started right at that hairline. I took a triangle that did that. I took another one. I actually put 3 in here that did this. So now look at this triangle. This is the first one I cut. I elevate this triangle up. When I elevate this section up, I want to go in and just point cut it so that what I'm doing is I'm getting this, this, this. Look at where the hair is coming from, and I'm point cutting into that. So now when I release, look where this hair lives, how much mass of hair I have from that point to that point. And then how it lives down here. So the hair from this point is getting longer. Now it's getting slightly shorter, even slightly shorter, and it's shortest. But there's more mass of length here that's taking off because it's wider. So it's so important you understand that triangles are a great way to work with, to just, with discipline, take weight out in these areas where it tends to get a little bit fat. All right, so now I continued my next section. I continued here, lifting that up. So when this falls, it falls like this. It falls into a triangle shape because the center traveled longer, here traveled less and less, but more mass of hair is getting shorter and less mass is getting longer. If this makes sense, I just want you to type a yes in the chat for me. Do that now and let me know that it works for you. All right? So now, let's go to the opposite side. Now watch what I'm going to do on this opposite side. I'm going to reverse the concept. So instead of me, let me show you on the board here. Okay, watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you on blue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing, but what I want to do is I'm going to take a triangle that is narrow at the top and wider at the bottom. So I'm immediately going to come in. I'm going to take a triangle that goes like this. So I'm going to go here. So I went from here. That's the one we cut. Now look at this one. Watch. Okay. So now this time I'm going to take this triangle right here where you see that this, let me just get this a little bit better. I'm going to draw the whole box right here. Okay. See this triangle? Now that triangle is narrow at the top and wide. Look at the triangle I cut over here. It's much more. See how that triangle I cut there? Look at how this one here, when you look at that, this one is wide at the top and narrow. When you come over here and look what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take and cut the triangle opposite on this side. So why, Sam? Because when I take this hair is getting short, this hair is getting slightly longer, and it's longest. So can you see here, when this one falls, it's going to fall like this. So that it's wider down here and narrow. Look at this one. This one here, it fell wide to narrow because that was the wide to narrow triangle I cut right here. Is this making sense, guys? Just type a yes in there if it is. Okay, so here I am here. Okay, now watch me execute this on the opposite side. On this side, watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to come through. Remember, I want to take a narrow triangle now. So let's get my cushion up here. These are our Velcro dry clips. They're great to use. I love using them when I'm dry cutting like this. All right. So now I want narrow. So think narrow to wide. So see how I got that triangle? Okay, now look at this triangle. See that? See how it sits? So I'm narrow up at the top and wide at the bottom. We're going to do the same thing. Elevate, read where I want to cut it, and come through. Let's turn my hand the other way so you can really see. Okay, so I can come through now, and now I'm going to point cut that. And once again, today I'm using a white tail comb. Number one, for visual, I can see it wide down here, narrow up there, release, watch when I release it. See how it's shorter here, but less massive here, short. Now let's go to the next one. So I want to go here. Now I'm going to draw my triangle wide. How cool is this? Do you see how this works? It just creates that sense of looseness. I can put this, sometimes you'll see me do this on the top, you know, just to keep length up on the top, but loosen up my top areas, my top and crown areas. Here today, you're seeing me actually do it underneath the top and crown area because I want to release the weight underneath. Here we go here, narrow, narrow, wide. And this will be my last one here. All right, so just a cool concept. Once again, I love placing this in that back nape area. You know, sometimes in that back area, just underneath the crown area and the nape area, they grab that area and say it looks too thick. Just grab the triangle concepts and cut this. Now look at the difference between the two. Okay, look at this side. I don't know if you can see this side over here where I cut wide to narrow. This sits more narrow, more flat. Look at this side over here where I cut it narrow to wide. This sits more volume up on the top. So really great exercise going in and just cutting these triangles. Yeah, this is great for Jean. This is great for excellent hair. It's awesome for heavy hair. It's excellent for heavy hair. It's awesome. I highly recommend it. I don't recommend doing this necessarily on curly hair. Be careful how much coil you have compared to wave. Wave to kind of nice crinkle works really nicely. Okay, removing weight, Tracy, that's what it's all about, this exercise. So thanks for joining me today, guys, on an impromptu live. Once I get it in my head, I just want to share it. Take a snapshot of this, take a screenshot of that so that you've got it. And once again, do me a favor. If you like this, tell people about @samvia.com. Go to the website, take a look at our tools. I want you to follow us, share this video. Remember, your progression is our obsession. Thanks for watching.